and welcome. I am Hope here at Crafty Hope, and I'm working on ICAD day number 24. So, ICAD means Index Card a Day, and it is the brainchild of Tammy Garcia of Daisy Yellow, who is Gypsy999 on Instagram. And basically, the idea is to create every day for the months of June and July. Tammy offers up weekly themes and daily prompts that are optional just to kind of give you a creative spark, maybe a little bit of a challenge if you want to use it, but they're not necessary. My friend Nina Garcia has also jumped in with her own mixed media ICAD prompts. And again, totally optional if you want to use them or not. Some days I do, some days I don't. Today, I was going back and forth. I mentioned yesterday that often before I go to bed at night, I kind of take a peek at what the next day's prompts are so I can wake up with maybe an idea of what I'm going to do. And I struggled with what I was going to do. I kind of went back and forth when I saw. Let me go ahead and tell you that Tammy, the Daisy Yellow prompt, is print, and Nina's mixed media ICAD prompt is doodling. So when I saw the doodling prompt, I thought, oh, I'll do some neurographic doodling. I'll put a link. I've done some already this year for ICAD. I'll put a link up in that right corner so you can see what I mean by neurographic doodling. And I thought maybe, yeah, that might be what I do. And then for print, I was going back and forth. Like I thought I might handwrite print something on here, but I go in a different direction too. But I end up using kind of both of the prompts. So I start this. I'm trying to use up my scrap boxes, y'all. I've got so many scraps, and I'm not letting myself dip into my other ephemera because I just have so many scraps. So I am working my way through it by usually adding some collage down on these super thin index cards. The collaging kind of helps thicken them up. So I've got my Oohoo glue stick and bits and pieces of collage, and I just stuck it down and covered that whole card. I'm going to trim off a little bit of the excess and then come in with some gesso. This, I'm just putting a tiny little bit down just to kind of make all of those pieces a little more cohesive and less of their own little sections. I thought I was going to brayer it, but I couldn't find my brayer. I've washed it and it's in another room drying. So I've got this silicone brush thing that I'm just spreading that Liquitex Basics gesso around, and I'm going to dry it super quick. It hit me all of a sudden that I wanted to put some distress oxides down on this card and decided I'd break out my 3x5 Jelly Arts jelly plate to do that. So I'm just going to tap down a little bit of, what is that, shaded lilac and peacock feathers of the distress oxides, give them a spritz with my distress sprayer. And then I'm not going to put my whole card on it. I'm just going to kind of move it around and pick up the color. And y'all, this was so yummy. Why haven't I been doing this the entire ICAD? So expect to see me doing more with this jelly plate and my distress oxides, because yeah, I was totally digging that. So I did pick up the extra with a novel just so I have that. I've decided to get a novel I'm not using for collage and stuff to have put my excess paint and stuff on. Now here I pull out my big Sharpie chisel point thinking, okay, now I'm going to start my neurographic doodling. But the more I looked at that yummy distress oxide on there, I was like, I can't cover all that up. I'm not feeling it. What do I want to do instead? So, yep, broke out my little yogurt cup of dried up instant coffee and reconstitute it with a little water and yeah, splatters, because that's apparently my theme this year for ICAD is scrap collage and splatters. So I put some coffee splatters down, dried them, blotted up any of the excess liquid, and I'm gonna grab it's a Pentel, oh, I've got it here. It's a Pentel Energel liquid gel ink pen, and it's a tiny, tiny fine point. I think it's like a 0.3 millimeter. It's got this tiny little needle tip on it, and I know we can consider this doodling, but it's more just scribbling around on the card to give an extra little bit of texture on here. And then I decided I needed something dark and black on here, and I went looking for a different brush pen and couldn't find it. So instead I grabbed this Bria Reese one. I think I probably got it on clear. Oh, actually I think I found it Tuesday morning forever ago. And it's fine. It did what I needed to do, but it's got a touch of a metallic or glitter in it that I wasn't really wanting, but it's fine. It did what I needed it to do. So I'm just making some marks again. This could be considered mark making or doodling. But what I decide to do, I'm going to pull out these. I've got these packs of butterflies from the Dollar Tree, and I was thinking I was going to use one of those turquoisey ones, but I couldn't quite get it to match with the peacock feathers. So I decided, ooh, these brown ones made a bigger statement. Y'all, I'm going to mess with this a while, and yeah, I really wanted to bring in some embroidery floss. I knew that I kind of wanted to do doodling with embroidery floss. So I thought, okay, I'll make a backer with embroidery floss for this butterfly. So I put a central hole, and I'm basically going to make like a starburst kind of shape. And as I do it and I put my butterfly down, I realize I'm not really bringing those strands out far enough. The butterfly is just going to completely cover them up. So, see this? No, not that one. Um, I'm going to place the butterfly. I'll go ahead and tell you if you saw that teaser picture, yeah. See, the butterfly is just it's not making much of a statement. Um, I don't use the butterfly in the end, so yeah. So maybe another time. I don't remember if I put it up or if I still got it on my desk and back in my scrap box. I hope not in my scrap box. If y'all have been watching along with me, you know I'm trying to work through these scraps and not create more scraps. So that's been a goal. All right, so here I am, and I am going back in through that same central hole basically over and over again. So the star pattern kind of is also on the back of my card. So I'm continuing to do this. I end up running out of thread here, so I'm going to go ahead and tie it off. I have more embroidery floss sitting on my desk, so I'm going to go off camera here. I pull out that thread first, I think. Yeah. And I'll go off camera to thread my needle and get my knot and all that and just kind of start again. And you can see how I'm doing this. I'm kind of pre-punching my holes where I want that thread to go. And then, see, pre-punch my hole and then go back through that central hole. So, and I'm going to do this. And I think somewhere in here is where I decided I wasn't going to use that butterfly. I can't remember quite where I decided. Oh no, it's here in just a second because I'm going to try out the butterfly again here and I'm going to mess with it. No, maybe not here. Anyway, are y'all playing along with ICAD? I hope you are. I have a lot of fun with this because it lets me experiment a bit with techniques and things that I haven't tried maybe in my art journal or larger art pieces. And these little 3x5 index cards are the perfect way to kind of play and see what I like. And here I see that I do not like this butterfly. I'm trying to see if I can um, use it another way. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't put the butterfly on top of my starburst. Maybe the starburst will be its own accent. So I'm just going to finish it out, fill out some of these spaces that feel a little open to me. And look, I just put my needle down like that. And I'm like, okay. So I pull out some quote chips thinking, oh, that would be really nice on top of that starburst, and I can put the butterfly off to the side like this. Look at that. Wouldn't and it just felt too busy. Like there were too many competing things. I had the embroidery floss, I've got the phrase, I've got the butterfly. It just felt like too much. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Yep, put the butterfly aside. Not going to use it. Not going to use the quote chip. Instead, to go with the print prompt, I a while back typed up some phrases that meant something to me, and I've printed them out. Now, I have a PDF of those if you're interested in printing them out yourself. They'll be below in the description box. But this is my print prompt. This is something I printed out. But I backed that Be Grateful prompt on some heavy cardstock just to give it I don't know, so it didn't sink into that embroidery floss. I wanted it to kind of float on that embroidery floss. And I tried to use the shaded lilac to go around it to let it pop, but I knew it was going to disappear on there. So I get a little more of that coffee that's sitting there and go around my little phrase there. And I think right there I mess up and I'm like, okay, that's fine. It gives it a little grunge like the rest of the card has. And I pull out my tacky glue to glue it down. I think matte gel medium would be fine, or I mean E6000 might be a little bit of an overkill, but it's some kind of heavy duty glue is what you need here because of that cardstock and because of the texture of the embroidery floss. And then I'm going to go around the outside of my card with that brush pen just to frame it up. And y'all, I think that's it for this card. Oh wait, I still have to tie off. That's where I realized that I hadn't tied off my needle yet. So I tie that off and then I'll go around my card. All right, y'all. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing with a bunch of different materials and using that jelly plate, especially with those distress oxides. And I would love to know what you think. Let me know below in the comments. And if you like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe and do all those things that helps with that algorithm. Oh, I did add some more marks here because it felt empty up in that corner. All right, guys, that is it from me. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.